The room was already calm before you arrived. Not quiet in an empty way, quiet in a full, resting way. A small lamp glowed beside the window, spreading warm light across the wooden floor. Outside, the night moved slowly, like it had nowhere important to go. The old man sat in his chair, wrapped in a soft brown shawl. His posture was relaxed, not stiff. One hand rested on his knee, the other gently holding a warm cup. When he noticed you, he smiled. Not a big smile, just the kind that says, "You're safe here." "Ah, there you are," he said softly. "I was hoping you'd come." His voice was slow and kind, like someone who had learned not to rush life. There was no weight in it, only patience. He nodded toward the chair across from him. "Sit," he said gently. "The night is long and there's no need to hurry." The chair felt warm, as if it remembered people resting there before. The lamp flickered once softly, then settled again. The old man looked toward the window, watching the shadows of trees sway. "You know," he began, "evenings used to scare me when I was young." He chuckled quietly, not sad, not loud, just honest. "But now," he continued, "I understand them better." He turned to you, eyes calm, full of stories, but in no rush to tell them all. "Nights don't ask us to think," he said. "They ask us to let go." The room seemed to breathe with him. "Slow in, slow out." He adjusted the shawl around his shoulders. "I won't tell you anything difficult tonight," he promised. "No sharp memories. No heavy thoughts." The lamp's light grew softer, warmer. "Just small moments," he said. "Simple ones." Outside, the wind passed gently like a hand brushing tall grass. The old man leaned back, closing his eyes for a moment. "When I was much younger," he said quietly, "I learned something important." He opened his eyes again, smiling faintly. "But that part can wait." He looked at you kindly. "For now," he said, "just rest here with me." The lamp stayed steady. The night stayed kind. And the story began, slowly, the way sleep likes it. The old man did not speak right away. He sat quietly, as if listening to something far away, not outside the room, but somewhere deep inside time itself. The lamp beside him hummed softly, almost like it was alive. Its light did not flicker now. It simply stayed, steady and warm. "You know," the old man said after a while, "this chair has held many people." He gently tapped the wooden armrest. "Tired people, hopeful people, people who didn't even know why they were tired." His voice was slow, smooth, never pushing. "Wood remembers," he said, "not in words, but in feeling." He leaned forward just a little, careful not to disturb the quiet. "Every night when someone sits here and rests, the chair learns how to be softer." The room felt even calmer than before, as if it agreed. The old man smiled again, that same gentle smile full of patience. "When I was younger," he continued, "I thought strength meant staying awake." He shook his head softly. "But strength," he said, "is knowing when to rest." Outside, a distant sound drifted in. Maybe an owl, or maybe just the night breathing. He wrapped the shawl a bit tighter around his shoulders. "Long ago," he said, "I used to fight sleep." His eyes softened as he spoke, not sad, just reflective. "I thought if I closed my eyes, I might miss something important." He paused. "But nothing important ever left," he said quietly. "It always waited." The lamp's light spread across the walls, slow and golden. "Sleep," the old man said, "is not leaving. It's returning." He leaned back in his chair, letting it support him fully. "You don't have to hold your thoughts tonight," he told you. "You don't have to solve anything." His voice lowered slightly, like a lullaby without melody. "Let them sit on the shelf," he said. "They'll still be there tomorrow." The room felt heavier in the best way, like a warm blanket settling over everything. The old man closed his eyes for a few seconds. Then, without opening them, he spoke again. "There was a night," he said softly, "when I finally understood this." His breathing slowed. "Not tonight," he added gently. That story comes later. A calm silence followed. Not empty, not awkward, just peaceful. The chair beneath you felt supportive, almost kind. The lamp continued to glow. The old man opened his eyes halfway and smiled. For now, he said, just let the room hold you. And without another word, the night leaned closer, inviting you to rest. The old man shifted slightly in his chair. Not because he was uncomfortable, but because the night had changed. You may not have noticed, he said softly, but the window is open. He did not point. He did not turn his head. Still, you could feel it. A cool, gentle air moved through the room, slow enough not to disturb anything, kind enough to feel welcome. I never close it completely, the old man continued. Even in winter, he smiled faintly. Some things need a way in. The curtain barely moved, as if the breeze knew how to behave. Sounds, he said. Memories. Breathing. He rested his hand on his chest for a moment. When the world goes quiet, he said, you can finally hear yourself. The lamp seemed a little dimmer now, not weaker, just calmer. The old man's voice stayed low and even. There was a time, he said, when this room felt too large. He paused, letting the space around you settle. At night, everything feels bigger, he went on. Thoughts stretch. Silence grows. He nodded slowly. But silence, he said, is not empty. He looked toward the window now. His eyes relaxed, unafraid. Silence is full of rest, he whispered. Outside, something moved. A leaf, a branch, or maybe just the wind turning over in its sleep. You don't have to follow every sound, the old man said gently. Let them pass. His breathing became deeper, slower. In my younger days, he said, I tried to understand everything. A soft chuckle escaped him, quiet and warm. I learned later, he added, that understanding is not required. He leaned back again. Being here is enough. The room seemed to agree. The chair supported your weight effortlessly. The air felt clean and cool. The lamp watched over everything like an old friend. You can let your shoulders fall now, the old man said. He waited a moment, as if giving your body time to listen. There's no need to hold yourself up, he continued. The night is strong. His words wrapped around the room. Slowly, gently. If your thoughts wander, he said, that's fine. Let them walk. They'll come back when they're ready. The window breathed again. The old man closed his eyes, not to sleep, but to rest within the moment. You're doing well, he said quietly. Just by being here. Nothing else was asked of you. Nothing else was needed. The night stayed open, patient and kind, as you drifted deeper into its calm. The old man did not move for a long time. Not because he was tired, but because the chair remembered him. This chair, he said softly, is older than it looks. His fingers rested on the wooden arm, worn smooth by years of quiet evenings. It remembers weight, he whispered, not just of the body, but of days. The room stayed still, as if listening with you. I used to sit here after long walks, the old man said, when my legs were stronger and the roads felt longer. He breathed in slowly. Now the walks are shorter, he added, but the rest is deeper. The lamp flickered once, not failing, just blinking like an old eye. You don't need to move, the old man said gently, as if he could sense even the smallest tension. Let the chair hold you. The air felt heavier now, not thick, but safe. There's a moment, he continued, when the body realizes it doesn't have to stay alert. He paused. That moment, he said, is very quiet. His shoulders sank a little. You might feel it now, he whispered. A soft sinking, a gentle letting go. The room seemed to lower itself around you, as if the floor and walls had agreed to carry more of the weight. I remember falling asleep here once, the old man said, long before I meant to. A faint smile appeared. I woke up hours later, he went on, and nothing had changed. He nodded slowly. That's when I learned rest doesn't steal time. Outside, the night stayed patient. No one is waiting for you, the old man said. No task. No noise. His voice slowed further, each word placed carefully. If your eyes want to close, he said, they may. If they want to stay open, that's fine too. The chair creaked softly. A friendly sound, not a warning. This chair, he murmured, has listened to many silences. He placed both hands on the arms now, completely still. You don't have to think, he said. You don't have to remember. The lamp dimmed just a little more, like the night turning down its voice. Just sit, the old man whispered. Just breathe. The air moved in and out, slow and steady. The chair held. The room waited. The night stayed open. Everything else could rest. The old man noticed something most people never do. The house is breathing, he said quietly. Not loud, not fast, just a slow, patient breath. Walls expanding slightly, then resting again. Every old house does this at night, he explained. When the world finally stops disturbing it. The room felt warmer now, as if the house itself had wrapped a blanket around you. You don't need to listen hard, the old man said. It's already happening. He leaned back in the chair, wood responding with a soft, familiar sound. Long ago, he continued, I thought houses were empty things. A pause. I was wrong. The lamp glowed steady, casting long shadows that did not move. They remember footsteps, he whispered. They remember voices. They remember silence best of all. His breathing slowed, and without realizing it, yours began to follow. There was a night, the old man said, when I came home very late. No rush in his words. Each sentence drifted. I sat right here, he continued, and the house felt relieved. He smiled faintly, as if it had been waiting. The air shifted gently, cool near the floor, warm near the shoulders. You might feel it now, he said softly. A subtle settling, a quiet agreement. Nothing needed to be done. Your body knows, the old man whispered. It knows how to soften. His hands rested loosely now, fingers barely touching the chair. When you stop holding yourself up, he said, something else always steps in. The walls seem closer, not closing, protecting. Even the ceiling listens, he murmured. It listens for rest. Outside, time stretched thin, almost disappearing. No one is counting minutes, the old man said. No one is checking. A deeper calm spread through the room, slow like warm water. If thoughts come, he added, let them pass through. They don't need answers tonight. The house breathed in. The house breathed out. You are allowed to follow, the old man whispered. The chair held you. The room held the chair. The house held the room. And nothing, absolutely nothing, was asking anything from you. Stay, the old man said softly. The night did not hurry. It never does. The house continued breathing. Not louder, not deeper, just steady. The old man did not speak for a while. Silence stayed, unafraid of being noticed. Do you feel that pause? He finally asked. Not the breath in, not the breath out. The space in between. The lamp hummed faintly, almost agreeing. That space, the old man said softly, is where the body forgets its weight. His shoulders sank just a little more into the chair. You don't fall asleep there, he explained. You float. The room felt wider now, as if it had quietly made more space for you. There was a time, the old man continued, when I tried to control sleep. A gentle exhale. It never worked. He smiled without opening his eyes. Sleep is shy, he whispered. The moment you chase it, it steps back. The house breathed again. The walls answered with a soft creak, old wood adjusting without complaint. Tonight, the old man said, you don't have to go anywhere. No destination. No effort. Just stay inside the breath, he murmured.
And inside the pause.
Your thoughts slowed, like footsteps turning into echoes. If a memory appears, he said calmly, let it sit beside you. It won't stay long. The chair supported every part of him now. Nothing tense, nothing lifted.
Your jaw doesn't need to hold,
the old man said. Your tongue can rest. Even the smallest muscles seemed to listen. Outside, the world felt very far away, as if wrapped in layers of quiet. The night understands patience, he whispered. It never pushes. Another pause. Longer this time. You may notice warmth, he continued. Moving slowly, not rushing, not spreading, just arriving. The ceiling above felt higher. Or maybe you simply needed less space. There is no right way to be here, the old man said gently. You are already doing it. The house breathed in. The pause lingered. The house breathed out. You don't need to follow perfectly, he added. Even drifting is enough. His voice softened further, almost blending with the room. In this moment, he whispered, nothing is missing. The chair held. The room held. The house remembered how. Stay inside the pause, the old man said. And the night, patient as ever, waited with you. Not because it was frozen, but because there was no need. The old man remained still in the chair, as if the chair had learned his shape over many nights. Do you notice, he asked quietly, how the body has stopped asking questions? No searching, no adjusting. The body only asks when it feels unsafe, he said. When it relaxes, it listens. The lamp's light seemed softer now, as if it had dimmed on its own. You may feel heavy, the old man continued, or light. A small pause. Both are signs you can trust. The house breathed again. Slow, familiar. Long ago, he said, I learned that rest is not sleep. Rest comes first. Sleep follows when ready. Tonight, the old man whispered, rest has already arrived. Your arms felt distant, like they belonged to someone kind who had set them down gently. If thoughts return, he said calmly, let them walk past. No need to greet them. The floor beneath the house felt deep, steady, ancient. You are supported more than you realize, the old man murmured. Another pause, long enough to forget counting. Breathing now happens by itself, he said. You don't have to help. Even his voice seemed to arrive from farther away, wrapped in quiet. The night has no expectations, he whispered. It accepts unfinished things. Memories softened, edges rounded. You don't have to finish the day, the old man said. The night will keep it safe for you. The chair held him fully now. No tension left to release. If sleep comes, he added gently, let it. If it doesn't, another pause. That's fine too. The house did not rush either way. The walls listened. The ceiling stayed silent. You are allowed to disappear a little, the old man whispered. Nothing will be lost. Your breathing and the house breathing almost matched. In. Pause. Out. In this stillness, he said softly. The body remembers how to stop asking. Silence settled, not empty, but complete, and the night stayed, wide and patient, holding the space until you no longer noticed it at all. The old man did not move, not because he was still, but because movement had become unnecessary. You may notice, he said quietly, that time no longer feels straight. No beginning. No end. Just a wide moment. The clock is still here, he whispered. But it has stopped asking you to follow. The room felt deeper, as if the walls had stepped back to give more space. Thoughts now drift differently, the old man said. They don't arrive with urgency. If one appeared, it floated. Slow, unconcerned. You don't have to finish a thought, he added. Thoughts finish themselves when ignored. The lamp hummed softly, or maybe it always had. You may forget what you were listening to, the old man murmured. That's a good sign. Another pause, longer than before. The mind loosens before sleep, he said. It tests silence. Your awareness softened, edges blurring. It's all right if words stop making sense, the old man whispered. Meaning rest too. The chair felt farther away now, as if your body were remembering how to float without leaving. Notice how nothing is required, he said gently. No response needed. No effort offered. The house remained awake enough to protect, asleep enough to be kind. Even memories are quieter here, the old man said. They sit instead of speak. Time stretched, then folded back into itself. If you try to measure this moment, he said calmly, you'll lose it. So the moment stayed. Breathing moved somewhere in the background, like waves heard from inside a dream. You may not know where your hands are, the old man whispered. They know where they are. Another silence. Comfortable. Unnoticed. The night has opened, he said softly. You don't have to step through. It will come to you. The ceiling darkened slightly, or maybe your eyes did. Sleep begins like this, the old man murmured. Not falling, but forgetting to stand. Your thoughts thinned, spaces growing between them. In those spaces, he said, nothing needs explanation. Time loosened completely now. No longer forward, no longer back. Just here, just quiet. And the old man remained, watchful and gentle, as the mind drifted, closer to the place, where even drifting is no longer noticed. The old man remained where he was. He did not check the room. He did not adjust the light. Everything had already adjusted itself. You may notice something now, he said softly. Your body has started to rest before you asked it to. There was no clear moment when it happened. No signal. No announcement. Just a gentle release. Muscles don't need instructions anymore, the old man whispered. They remember how to soften. Your shoulders felt distant. Your hands felt lighter, as if their weight had been returned to the chair. The body listens better than the mind, he said calmly. It never argues with rest. A long pause followed. Not empty, just unfilled. You don't need to check your breathing, the old man continued. It has slowed itself. Air moved in, then out, without effort, without counting. The room holds you now, he murmured. You're allowed to be held. The quiet deepened. Not silence, but something thicker, gentler. You may feel your legs disappear first, the old man said. That's normal. Not gone, just no longer important. Then the arms, he added. Then the face. Your jaw loosened. Your eyes rested where they were. No need to close them tighter, he whispered. They closed by forgetting to stay open. The night outside the room slowed too. Even distant sounds softened, as if they had learned to whisper. The body knows this path, the old man said. It has walked it every night of your life. Another pause. Longer, if a thought appears, he said gently. Let it pass without finishing. Incomplete thoughts dissolve faster, like mist touched by warm air. You are not falling asleep, the old man murmured. You are being remembered by sleep. The chair, the floor, the walls, all stayed exactly where they were. Only your sense of being inside them changed. Weight leaves quietly, he said. So quietly you don't notice when it goes. Your body felt wider, then less defined. Soon, the old man continued, even effort will feel unnecessary. No rush, no direction, just a gentle narrowing toward ease. You don't need to go anywhere, he whispered. Sleep comes to where you are. The room stayed dim. The lamp stayed kind. And the old man stayed present, as the body settled completely, preparing the way for the mind to follow without resistance. The old man did not move. He remained exactly where he had been, as if stillness itself had chosen him. Now, he said softly, this is where thoughts begin to change, not disappear, not stop, just lose their edges. You may notice a thought arrive, the old man whispered, but it won't ask to be finished. A half-thought drifted in, then another. Neither stayed long enough to matter. They come like visitors, he said calmly, and leave before you learn their names. The body stayed quiet. It had already done its work. Now the mind softened. You don't need to follow anything, the old man continued. Following requires effort, and effort is no longer needed. The room seemed farther away now. Not gone. Just less defined. Edges blurred. Corners lost their importance. You may feel space stretch, he murmured, or shrink, or stop having shape at all. Time loosened. Seconds no longer stood in line. They drifted past each other, slow, unconcerned. If a memory appears, the old man said, let it stay unfinished. An image formed, then softened, like chalk touched by water. No fixing, he whispered. No correcting. The lamp's glow felt distant now, as if seen through calm water. You are safe here, the old man reminded gently. Nothing needs attention. Breathing continued, but it was no longer noticed. You may feel yourself floating, he said, or sinking, or doing neither. All were correct. The space behind your eyes widened, not dark, just open. This is where dreams begin to prepare, the old man whispered. They don't rush. They wait until you stop watching. Another pause followed, longer than before. In this place, he continued, there is no center, no front, no back, just awareness, soft and wide. Thoughts pass like distant lights, seen but not approached. You don't need to understand anything, the old man said quietly. Understanding wakes the mind. Instead, you rested inside the feeling of not needing to know. The body was now completely absent, except for a faint sense of warmth. You've done enough for today, he murmured. There is nothing left to hold. The room faded further, but the old man's presence remained. Steady, unhurried. Sleep is close now, he said softly. So close it doesn't announce itself. The space around you deepened, thicker than silence, gentler than thought. And somewhere within that calm, the mind loosened its last grip, ready to drift, without being told how. The old man remained in his chair, hands folded gently, eyes soft but aware. The first shapes of dreams, he said softly, never arrive with noise. They are subtle, like shadows stretching at dusk. You might notice a color, or a movement, or nothing at all. That is exactly how it begins. Do not chase it, he whispered. Chasing wakes the mind. Dreams arrive only when you are still. The lamp flickered ever so slightly, not from wind, not from motion, but as if acknowledging the presence of waiting. Sometimes a memory will try to step forward, the old man continued. It may seem familiar, but you don't need to recognize it. Let it pass. A soft sigh of wind brushed the curtain. The room breathed along with it. Slow, even, patient. Your body is ready, he said quietly. The chair holds you firmly. The floor beneath is steady, and the night has taken its place around you. Another pause stretched. Not uncomfortable. Not loud. Just long enough for the mind to feel safe. You may notice the edges of thought dissolve first, the old man whispered. Ideas become less sharp, less demanding. A half-formed image appeared, like a watercolor on damp paper, soft, indistinct. It didn't call your attention. It simply existed. That is the way dreams learn to visit, he said. They arrive quietly, so that the mind does not resist. A slow exhale left your lungs. Unnoticed, then another. Even your heartbeat seemed to soften, sinking into the room. Do not open your eyes, the old man said gently. The world outside is awake. Inside here, it is not required. Shadows shifted across the walls, slowly, deliberately, without hurry. Your ears noticed the faintest hum of the house. A wooden sigh, a settling floorboard. Dreams are patient, he whispered. They wait for the body to quiet, then for the mind to follow. Neither rush, neither push, just soft arrival. The space behind your eyes expanded. The room seemed wider, not in size, but in comfort. Do not attempt to understand, he added. Understanding wakes the mind. Here, nothing needs to be solved. The lamp's glow mellowed, as if dimming to match the quiet that had grown inside you. Even the air felt thick with calm, dense and protective. Time itself becomes softer here, the old man said. Minutes do not matter. Seconds float by, without request. A long silence followed, so deep that the world outside the room seemed miles away. Nothing demanded attention. Nothing interrupted the pause. You are exactly where you need to be, he whispered. Held, safe, ready. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the first real tendrils of dreaming began to curl around the edges of awareness. Soft shapes, color without form, a sensation of moving without motion. The old man sat back in the chair, letting the quiet swell. No words, no instructions, simply presence. And as the night continued its gentle watch, you felt yourself drifting further into the space where body, mind, and dreams meet. The old man did not move, not because he was frozen, but because there was no need. Stillness had settled into him completely, and in that stillness, the room seemed to breathe along with him. You may notice, he whispered softly, that the shapes of dreams stretch slowly now. Not rushing, not demanding, just extending gently. Like light across water at dusk, a soft glow from the lamp spread across the walls. Warm and steady, as if it too had paused to watch. Even the shadows softened, losing their sharpness, blurring into calm forms that invited rest. The mind, the old man continued, begins to loosen its grip on reality. Images may appear familiar or completely new. Do not try to follow them. Let them float past. Your own awareness began to thin, the edges of thought softening, the line between self and room becoming less distinct. Every breath was slower, every heartbeat quieter, every muscle letting go. Do not force sleep, he said gently. Sleep comes on its own. All you need is presence. A faint memory drifted in your mind. A smile, a sound, a small fragment of a long-forgotten day, and it passed like wind over grass. The old man's voice guided nothing, but held everything in safety. The body, he whispered, has already learned to rest. The mind is next. He let that sentence linger, allowing the stillness to deepen further. Outside, the night stretched quietly. No wind rushed in. No stars demanded attention. Just patient, gentle darkness holding the space for the room. For the chair, for you. You may notice yourself moving slightly, he said, though it is not movement at all. It is the mind exploring the first currents of dreams, not through force, but by gentle invitation. Your thoughts lost urgency. Memories floated and dissolved. Even your body felt lighter, as though gravity itself had relaxed around it. Do not chase the images, the old man reminded softly. They arrive as they will, and if you do not see them fully, that too is exactly as it should be. The room seemed to stretch outward, higher and wider without change in size, carrying everything inside it in a gentle embrace. Every small sound, the creak of the floor, the hum of the lamp, the distant whisper of the wind, was absorbed into calm, blended seamlessly with the stillness. You are exactly where you need to be, he whispered. Here nothing demands action, nothing demands thought. The night itself holds you. Another long pause filled the space. Soft shapes moved behind your closed eyes, hints of dreams stretching further, but still gentle, still safe. The old man leaned back slightly, his hands resting loosely in his lap. His presence was a quiet anchor, while the currents of sleep began to swirl around you. And when the mind drifts fully, he added softly, you will find there is no need to worry. The room, the chair, the lamp, the night, they all remain. Patient, steady, waiting for your return. The old man remained still in his chair, hands resting lightly in his lap, eyes soft but attentive, like a guardian of quiet spaces. You may notice now, he whispered, that your mind begins to float freely. It no longer clings to the edges of thought, nor struggles to keep them straight. Your awareness thinned further. Every sound, the faint hum of the lamp, the soft sigh of the house, seemed absorbed into a larger calm. Nothing required effort. Nothing demanded attention. The body has settled completely, the old man continued softly. The muscles no longer hold tension. The breath moves without thought. Now the mind follows its own rhythm. A faint color appeared behind your closed eyelids, soft and shifting. Not a shape to name, not a pattern to recognize. Just the gentle suggestion of movement, like leaves turning slowly in a still pond. Do not chase the images, he said gently. They arrive, and if ignored, they continue their slow dance. You are not required to hold them. The air in the room seemed thicker now, denser with quiet. Even the shadows of the walls stretched outward, inviting the mind to float further, to drift without concern. The first stage of dreams is always subtle, the old man whispered, almost invisible. Yet it is happening. You are already inside it, your thoughts blurred together, edges softening, ideas folding into each other like slow waves. A memory drifted past, a laugh, a melody, a forgotten smell. But it did not anchor you. It simply moved along, part of the current carrying your awareness. The house is patient, he murmured. The room does not rush. The chair does not demand. The lamp does not interfere. You are safe to dissolve into the moment. Another pause, longer than before. The old man's voice softened further, becoming almost part of the air itself. You may notice a sense of weightlessness, he said, or the opposite, a grounded heaviness. Both are correct. Both signal the mind is learning to let go. The room felt infinitely wide, though unchanged. The night outside seemed distant, yet protective, like a dark blanket wrapping everything inside. Do not fear the emptiness, he whispered. Dreams do not require filling. They arrive in spaces where thought has stopped holding. Your awareness followed, half here, half elsewhere. Shapes appeared behind closed eyes, moving slowly, without demand or pattern. Even the smallest hint of form seemed deliberate, perfectly timed, yet entirely free. The mind drifts, the old man said softly, not falling, not chasing, merely flowing, like water finding its calmest path. Breathing slowed further. Every exhale and inhale matched the room, the chair, the house, the night. You are exactly where you need to be, he whispered. Protected, supported, unseen by urgency. The night holds you, while the mind stretches, preparing for deeper dreams to arrive. The old man did not shift. He remained seated, hands resting lightly, eyes soft and patient, watching the quiet as if it were breathing along with him. You may notice now, he whispered, that the mind begins to loosen even further. Edges fade, time drifts, and the body becomes a faint echo beneath awareness. The room felt wider than before, though the walls did not move. Shadows softened across the floor, melting shapes, removing sharpness from every corner. Dreams do not arrive in a rush, the old man said gently. They stretch their fingers slowly, finding the spaces the mind has left empty. Do not chase them. Simply allow their presence. Your awareness thinned more. Every sound, the hum of the lamp, the whisper of the house, melded into a quiet rhythm, steady and infinite. Notice how the body no longer insists, he whispered. The muscles have released completely. The chest rises and falls, without command. The mind is now free to explore. A soft image appeared. Vague, fluid, shapes without definition, colors without borders. It moves slowly, like smoke curling upward in still air. Do not try to name what appears, he said softly. Recognition pulls you back to the waking world. Let it drift. Let it exist without demand. The lamp's glow softened further, warming the edges of the room, but not forcing focus. The chair cradled the old man and you alike, a steady anchor in this expanding calm. Time loses importance here, he whispered. Seconds do not march. Moments float, fold, and spread. There is no hurry. There is no end. Your mind followed the current of soft shapes, blurring lines between memory and imagination. Even the faintest thought was no longer a tether. It was a drifting leaf on a slow stream. The night stretches itself for you, the old man said. Patient, kind, unpressured. Every corner of the room listens and waits. Shadows lengthened imperceptibly, blending walls, ceiling, and floor. Your body felt both heavy and light, simultaneously grounded and untethered. Awareness may flicker, he whispered. That is natural. The mind is learning to dissolve, to float without control. This is the threshold of dreams. A vague warmth moved through the room, soft, protective, as if the night itself were breathing with you. Shapes drifted behind closed eyes, not demanding attention, not forming solid images yet, simply preparing, waiting patiently for full consciousness to fade. Do not force anything, he said. Even the faintest tension pulls you away from calm. Let the room, the chair, the lamp, and the night hold everything for you. Your breath became nearly imperceptible. Every inhale and exhale matched the quiet pulse of the house. Even thoughts became lighter, as if gravity had lost interest. You are exactly where you need to be, the old man whispered softly. Protected, supported, and ready. The mind is stretching toward the dream space, where all boundaries blur. The old man remained seated, his hands resting lightly in his lap, eyes soft, steady, and patient. You may notice now, he whispered, that the body has completely faded from awareness. It is no longer heavy, no longer demanding. The mind has room to move freely, to drift deeper into its own currents. A subtle warmth filled the room, soft and protective, as if the night itself had expanded its embrace. Shadows softened. Walls seemed to stretch outward, and the floor no longer held its usual edges. Thoughts will arrive, the old man continued gently, but they no longer anchor you. They float lightly, folding into each other, becoming part of the current of dreaming. You felt your awareness thinned further. Every sound, the quiet hum of the lamp, the soft settling of the house, blended into a larger calm, steady and infinite. The first images of dreams appear slowly, he whispered. Do not try to recognize them or chase them. They will form on their own. In the spaces your mind has left empty, shapes emerged behind closed eyes, soft, fluid, with colors that shifted gently, like water moving in sunlight. They were not solid, not demanding, but quietly present, inviting your mind to relax further. The mind now drifts freely, he said, half here, half elsewhere. Edges of memory blur, ideas fold into each other, and awareness becomes lighter with every breath. The lamp's glow softened even more, touching the room gently, without demanding focus. The chair cradled the old man and you alike, steady, patient, unmovable, as the currents of dreams began to swirl. Time no longer matters, he whispered. Seconds drift. Moments float. There is no hurry. There is no end. Only this expanding calm. A faint sense of motion appeared, like waves behind closed eyes. Subtle, rhythmic, inviting your mind to float. Without intention, without effort. The night stretches itself for you, the old man said softly. Patient, kind, unpressured. Every corner of the room listens and waits. Shadows blended with light. The edges of walls and floor softened. Your body felt both light and grounded, existing in a perfect balance between rest and awareness. Do not resist this state, he whispered. Even the smallest tension pulls you from calm. Let the room, the chair, the lamp, and the night hold everything for you. Your breath became nearly imperceptible. Thoughts floated, edges fading, like leaves drifting on a slow stream. You are exactly where you need to be, he said. Protected, supported, ready. The mind has reached a threshold where full dream immersion begins. The old man remained motionless, his presence steady, gentle, hands resting softly on his lap. The chair held him firmly, and in that stillness the room itself seemed to breathe. You may notice now, he whispered, that the currents of dreams are widening. Colors shift slowly, images drift and stretch, and awareness becomes fluid. Your mind floated alongside, half here, half elsewhere, aware of the room, yet sinking into something larger. The boundaries of the walls faded, shadows blurred into gentle forms, and the floor seemed to disappear under a soft haze. The mind has learned to release, the old man continued. Thoughts arrive without urgency, then drift gently away. You are not required to follow. You are not required to hold them. Soft forms appeared behind your eyelids, colors merging like sunlight on water. They had no fixed shape, no demanding presence, only a gentle, persistent invitation to watch and relax. Do not chase what appears, the old man whispered. Recognition awakens the mind. Here, it is enough to notice, to float with what comes. Your breathing slowed further, every exhale and inhale syncing with the quiet pulse of the house. Even your heartbeat felt softened, as if it had melted into the room itself. Dreams do not arrive all at once, he murmured. They stretch their presence, coiling and uncoiling gently, learning the rhythm of your mind. They are patient, and so must you be. The lamp's glow softened to an almost imperceptible warmth, and shadows merged into the edges of your perception. The night outside the room was distant, yet protective, holding you safely within the quiet calm. You may feel a sense of weightlessness, he said, or heaviness. Both are correct. Both signal the mind dissolving its tension, preparing for the full dream space.
The images behind your closed eyes shifted again.
Growing richer, flowing, moving without pattern or logic, only guided by the soft currents of awareness. The mind is almost entirely free now, he whispered. Half anchored, half drifting. The body is gone from notice. Thoughts are faint echoes. A long pause followed, deep and unhurried. The room, the chair, the lamp, and the old man's presence all became a single quiet anchor. Steady as the currents of dreams swirled around you. You are exactly where you need to be, he said softly. Safe, protected, supported. The mind is ready to dissolve fully, to enter the stage where dreams become vivid and awareness fades completely. Soft colors shifted behind closed eyes, flowing into shapes that were at once familiar and strange. The currents of dreams deepened, coiling, stretching, ready to carry you further into the night's calm, where the boundaries of self, body, and thought no longer exist. The old man remained seated, watching quietly, hands resting in his lap. A steady presence. As your mind drifted deeper, preparing to surrender entirely to the gentle tide of sleep, the old man remained still, seated in his chair, hands resting lightly in his lap, eyes soft and patient, watching over the quiet room as if it were part of him. You may notice now, he whispered, that the currents of dreams are forming shapes. They are not demanding, not sharp, but gentle and vivid, like clouds bending slowly in the wind. Your mind floated with them, half present in the room, half drifting inside the soft currents of your own awareness. Shadows blurred across walls and floor, edges melting, space expanding without motion. The body has vanished from notice, he continued softly. Breath is gentle, almost unnoticed. The mind drifts freely. Carried by currents it no longer resists. Soft forms appeared behind closed eyes, colors shifting and swirling without pattern, images that were familiar and strange at once. They moved slowly, inviting your mind to follow without needing to guide them. Do not chase the forms, he whispered. Recognition pulls you back. Let them drift. Let them exist on their own. Every sound, the hum of the lamp, the faint creak of the house, the whisper of the night outside, blended into the calm, becoming part of the gentle rhythm surrounding you. You are almost weightless, he said, or perhaps heavy. Both are correct. Both show that the mind is dissolving, preparing to surrender fully to dreams. Your awareness thinned further, thoughts softening, edges of memory folding into the currents of dream. A faint scent, a whisper of a sound, a fleeting image, all moved past without anchoring. The night stretches itself for you, he continued. Patient, unhurried, protective. Every corner of this room listens and waits. The lamp's glow softened further, touching every edge of the room without drawing focus. Shadows merged with the soft colors of your dreams, allowing the mind to drift completely. Time no longer matters, he whispered. Seconds float, moments fold. There is no beginning, no end. Only calm, only presence. The shapes behind your closed eyes began to form more distinctly. Still fluid, still gentle, but now more vivid, more immersive. They curved, stretched, and coiled, carrying the mind further into the night's quiet. You are exactly where you need to be, he said softly. Safe, supported, and ready. The mind is ready to let go fully, to merge with the dream space, where nothing demands effort or thought. Your breath slowed to a near whisper, every inhale and exhale in harmony with the room. Even the faintest thought floated past, weightless, unanchored, absorbed into the gentle currents of the night. The old man remained in the chair, a calm, steady presence, hands resting lightly, watching over you as your mind sank deeper, ready to dissolve fully into the vivid, unhurried embrace of dreams. The old man sat quietly, hands resting lightly, eyes soft but attentive, watching the room and the night as if they were breathing together. You may notice now, he whispered, that your mind begins to surrender completely. Images flow freely, Shapes curve and twist gently, and awareness of self fades slowly. Shadows merged seamlessly with the lamp's glow, blurring the edges of the walls, the floor and the ceiling. Everything felt wider. Room and night blending into one calm expanse. The body no longer demands attention, he continued softly. Every muscle has relaxed. Breath moves without thought. You are floating, carried by the soft currents of the night and your own mind. Forms behind your closed eyes became vivid yet gentle, colors shifting and folding, moving without purpose, yet perfectly in rhythm with your awareness. Do not chase these shapes, the old man whispered. Recognition brings resistance. Simply allow them to drift, to exist freely, without control or expectation. Every sound of the room, the faint hum of the lamp, the settling of the house, the night outside, blended seamlessly into the calm, becoming part of the rhythm that held you. You may notice a feeling of weightlessness, he said softly, or a grounding heaviness. Both are natural. Both signal that the mind is dissolving into the dream space. Your awareness thinned further, edges of thought softening, memories folding gently into one another, all blending with the currents of dreams. Even the smallest notion of effort slipped quietly away. The night stretches itself for you, he whispered. Patient, gentle, protective. Every corner of the room listens and waits. There is no urgency here. No demand. Only calm, only presence. The shapes behind closed eyes began to curve and twist, moving more vividly, immersive but entirely non-threatening. Your mind followed effortlessly, sinking deeper into the currents of the night. Time no longer matters, he said. Seconds drift, moments fold. There is no beginning, no end. Only a vast calm that holds everything in perfect balance. Your breath slowed further, rising and falling in harmony with the gentle pulse of the room. Thoughts floated past weightless, soft echoes that required no attention, absorbed by the calm of night. You are exactly where you need to be, he whispered. Safe, supported, ready. The mind has nearly dissolved, floating in the dream space, where boundaries no longer exist. A long pause followed, so deep that even the quiet of the room seemed to stretch infinitely. Soft forms twisted behind your closed eyes, coiling, folding, shifting, each motion gentle, deliberate, and unhurried. The old man remained still and steady, hands resting lightly in his lap, watching over the room. As your awareness drifted further, almost entirely merged with the flowing calm of the night, the old man remained seated, hands resting lightly in his lap, eyes soft, patient, watching the room with quiet attentiveness. You may notice now, he whispered, that your mind has almost entirely let go. Thoughts no longer demand attention. Images flow freely. Shapes curve and swirl gently. Colors shift and dance without effort. The shadows of the room blended seamlessly with the lamp's glow, walls and floor softening into indistinct edges. The room felt infinite, expanding outward, without motion, without urgency. Dreams have begun to form fully, he said softly. They are vivid yet gentle. Do not try to grasp them. Do not try to follow them. They move as they need to, and you simply float alongside. Your awareness was nearly weightless, half anchored in the room, half adrift in the currents of your mind. The soft shapes behind your closed eyes curved and stretched slowly, fluid and immersive, inviting complete surrender. The body no longer exists here, he whispered. Breath is soft, almost unnoticed. Muscles hold no tension. Even the faintest thought drifts freely, untethered, unanchored, absorbed by the calm that surrounds you. The room seemed to breathe along with you. Each exhale and inhale synchronized with the gentle currents of dream. Even the lamp's glow softened further, becoming a warm, steady pulse that held the edges of the expanding calm. Do not resist this state, he continued. Even the smallest tension pulls you back. The night, the room, the chair, and the lamp hold everything for you.
You are safe.
You are supported. You are ready. The dream shapes grew richer, more detailed yet still fluid, colors blending, coiling, folding, without solid boundaries. You floated through them, curves and streams moving gently around your awareness.
The night stretches itself for you, he whispered.
Patient, protective, and unhurried. Moments drift and fold. Time has no meaning here. The mind is free, floating effortlessly through the calm. Your awareness merged almost completely with the dream currents. Even the faintest flicker of thought was absorbed into the swirling calm. The old man remained still, hands resting lightly, watching quietly as your mind sank further, ready to dissolve entirely into the night's gentle embrace. You are exactly where you need to be, he said softly. Protected, safe, supported. The mind has nearly disappeared, flowing fully into the vivid, unhurried world of dreams. Another pause followed, long and gentle. The lamp glowed softly. Shadows moved imperceptibly, and the room held you in perfect stillness, ready for the final stage, where sleep becomes total, and the night envelops completely. The old man remained in his chair, hands resting lightly, eyes soft, calm, and watchful. He did not move, but his presence filled the room, steady, quiet, protective. You are almost fully immersed now, he whispered. The mind has let go completely. Thoughts drift freely, untethered, unanchored, absorbed into the gentle currents of the night. The room itself seemed alive with calm, edges of walls and floor fading into softness, shadows blending with the warm glow of the lamp. Everything stretched quietly, welcoming the mind fully into stillness. The body no longer demands attention, he continued. Breath is gentle, almost imperceptible. Muscles are completely relaxed. You float, carried effortlessly by the night itself. Shapes behind closed eyes move slowly. Fluid, vivid, coiling, folding, stretching. They were neither solid nor sharp, only gentle, immersive, inviting your awareness to dissolve further, to let the currents of dream carry you. Do not resist, do not chase, he whispered. The currents of sleep have their own rhythm. Your only task is presence. Your only need is to allow. The night, the room, the chair, the lamp, all hold you perfectly safely. Your awareness thinned completely, edges of thought melting, memories blending into soft streams, every flicker of effort dissolving quietly. Time has no meaning here, he continued. Seconds drift, moments fold. There is no beginning, no end, only calm, only presence, only the gentle flow of night, carrying you safely into sleep. The lamp glowed softly, warming the edges of the room without force, while shadows stretched and shifted imperceptibly, blending the space into a seamless calm. The dream shapes curved and coiled around your mind, vivid yet gentle, moving in slow, unhurried currents. They carried you effortlessly, deeper and deeper, into the unbroken calm of night. You are exactly where you need to be, he whispered. Safe, supported, protected. The mind has fully surrendered. The currents of dream hold you completely. Sleep is total. Awareness has softened and dissolved. Your breath became a quiet rhythm, in perfect harmony with the gentle pulse of the room. Every thought, every flicker of tension melted into calm. The body, the mind, the room, the night, all merged into one infinite stillness. The old man leaned back slightly, hands resting loosely in his lap, watching quietly as the currents of sleep carried you entirely into the night's complete embrace. Soft colors drifted, soft shapes moved, and your mind, free and weightless, vanished into the endless calm. The room held you. The chair held you. The lamp held you. The night held you. And you were exactly where you needed to be. A deep, perfect silence remained. Unbroken, unhurried, infinite. as the old man's steady presence watched over the room and the mind that had finally surrendered, floating completely, embraced by the gentle, endless night.